From Illinois State University, Sports Channel presents the Illinois High School Association Dual Team Wrestling Championships. And welcome everyone to Redburn Arena, side as usual of the Illinois High School Association Wrestling Team Championships. I'm Mike Lederman, joined as usual by Rob Sherrill, the Chicago Sun-Times and Wrestling Newsletters. Rob, 3 of the 4 schools here, Class A and AA, are defending champions. Starting with the AA, a rematch of last year, Mount Carmel, Waubonsee Valley. Caravan undefeated, Waubonsee Valley certainly a powerhouse too. These two teams know each other well. What are some of the keys to this year's match?
Well, Mount Carmel, I think, just has to keep doing what they're doing. They've got matchups they can take advantage of at 125, 130, and 135 if things break right, and they'll need to do that. Unlike previous years, they don't have the great closers at 189 and heavyweight. They'll need to score their points early. Waubonsee Valley, they'll need points from their state champion Javier Quintanilla at 119. He lost in the final last year. He lost in the duel earlier this year, and they'll need to get points from him.
Now, while the AA is going, of course, at the same time, the Class A mat will be busy too. The defending champion Yorkville Foxes, they're here. They won last year, their first time at state. This year they will be facing the Indians of Dakota. Both teams are from the northern part of Illinois, on either side of Rockford, but a good distance away. Rob, again, what are the keys for these two teams?
Well, Yorkville has certainly been a surprise. 8 new starters. They're very strong in the lower weights. They need to continue the strong performances they've been getting earlier in the tournament from the middle and the upper weights. Dakota, a very strong team except for the first 3 weights, and they'll need to give up as few points as they can in those first 3 weight classes to have a chance.
Unlike individual championships, this time the team's is thing, and Rob's going to talk about some of the strategies that go into the team wrestling championships.
The 3 most important strategies in winning any dual team wrestling meet are matchups, matchups, and matchups. More specifically though, the coaches will want to go for big points when they have an obvious advantage at any weight class, and then minimize the opponent's margin of victory when they have an obvious disadvantage. Finally, they want to save their big guns for situations that will allow them to score big points. Now, points at a team meet are awarded as follows. A pin will earn your team 6 points. A technical fall, which is wrestling's version of the 15-point slaughter rule, will earn you 5 points. A major decision, any match won by a margin of 8 to 14 points, will earn 4 points. And a straight decision, a margin of victory by 7 points or less, will earn 3 points. We should also note that 6 points will be awarded if the opponent forfeits, defaults, or is disqualified from any match.
All right, those are the ground rules. We'll have the action coming up from Normal. There's the scene after a full day of wrestling, the quarterfinals, the semis, and now the finals. The mat to your left will be the Class AA mat, the lower left, and the lower right, the one that says IHSA, will be the single A. The AA, of course, Waubonsee Valley 24-4. At the 103-pound weight class, we'll find Paul Garbus against Chicago Mount Carmel's Ryan DeLira. DeLira is a junior, Garbus is a sophomore. The mats in the back, by the way, are the consolation rounds going on while the finals are taking place. On the left for Waubonsee Valley is Paul Garbus, 21-16 this sophomore year. Waubonsee Valley will be in the green with gold trim. DeLira for Mount Carmel in the brown, 33-5 for the junior. He has won both his semi and quarterfinal match. Meanwhile, Garbus lost his quarterfinal match and won on a disqualification in the semis. DeLira now on top. No points awarded yet. And now we get the first 2 points of the match given to Mount Carmel's Ryan DeLira. 3 2-minute periods. We're about 30 seconds gone in period 1. Last year, the championship went down to the final match, with the heavyweight match going to Mount Carmel and giving it the decision. Now an escape by Garbus gets him a point. It's 2-1 with 1:12 to go here.
If there are any weak weaknesses in Waubonsee Valley's lineup. It's these first two weights, 103 and 112 pounds. And it's not because Garbus doesn't know what he's doing. He's a very sound wrestler. He's just a very small 103-pounder, and for 2 years he's been giving up an awful lot of size to everybody he's wrestled.
Now wrestling on mat 3 at 112 from Providence Catholic.
45 seconds to go here in period 1. Off the mat, and still it is Delira with a 2-1 lead. Bill Wick, 8th-year coach at Mount Carmel. He's got 2 championships already under his belt, going for a 3rd in a row.
No Class AA team has ever won 3 dual team state titles. Mount Carmel's trying to become the first.
Final 30 seconds here of period number 1. Again, 3 2-minute periods, overtime if we need it. And the official, Rennie Garcilas, gives us a whistle and brings them back to the center in the neutral position.
First stall warning against Paul Garbus, and again, we're talking about matchups. This is a weight that Waubonsee Valley really doesn't expect to win, so what they want to do is keep the margin as small as they can against Mount Carmel.
And that is the end of the first period. The score, as we look at Tom Rossiano, the coach of Waubonsee Valley, exhorting his wrestler to hang in there. Again, he is quite the underdog here, not Waubonsee Valley, but in this weight class, Garbus against Delira. Now Garbus on top to start the second period. And 2 points on the reversal for Delira, breaks him out to a 4-1 lead. As Rob explained, we're doing dual team scoring to determine the champion. From 6 points to 3, depending on the ability of the winner to either pin or decision.
What a dual meet is all about. It's one team's 13-man lineup against the other team's 13-man lineup, and that's how you determine the true team champion in Illinois now.
Minute 10 seconds left to go in period number 2. Delira has been in command throughout this match, but Garbus hanging in. There's a good look at Bill Wick, the veteran coach of Mount Carmel High School. Now we get a false start here called. And we get a stall warning on the false start.
First caution against Delira for a false start. You're allowed 2 of those in a match. The third would be a point for the opponent.
1 minute left to go in the second period. This is the first match of the evening in Class AA. We will also bring you the Class A action going on in the same arena between Dakota's Indians and the Foxes of Yorkville. They'll be starting with the 145-pounders. And again, we get a whistle, I believe, for a potentially dangerous hold. 35 seconds to go, second period, and the 4-1 lead to that young man right there, Ryan Delira.
Delira's ahead 4-1, and he's been pretty much in command, as you said, Mike, but he'd probably like to be ahead by more at this point. I think this is a weight that Mount Carmel certainly would like to get big points from, but it is just important to win this match, because if this match should end up a tie, the tie-breaking criteria is which team wins the most matches. So the team that wins 7 matches would win a tie, as we see another potentially dangerous situation here. So the win is just as important.
Final 5 seconds here in period number 2. And Delira holding on, and they will go to the third period with Paul Garbus there in the green from Waubonsee Valley, trailing by a count of 4-1. There's Delira, won 33 of 38 matches this season for Bill Wick. there is Garbus. Decent record, wrestled a lot, 21-16. Now it's a stalemate. A minute 35 to go. And there again, 2 more points for Ryan DeLira. Garbus trying to hold on and do some scoring here. At this point, it would only be a 3-point win, Rob, for Mount Carmel, which in Tom Rossiano's view is probably almost as good as he could hope for.
Certainly so, and if you want to do a little comparison against the December dual meet, and there's a stall warning against Garbus and a point for DeLira now. It's 7-1, but in that December meet, which Mount Carmel won by a score of 34-24, they got a pin out of DeLira at 103 pounds, and at this point, they only stand to get 3 points for the decision, so that's a 3-point improvement for Waubonsee Valley after just 1 match.
Well, 1 more takedown for DeLira, and he would have a major decision, which would gain his team 4 points, something he is quite well aware of. 37 seconds left to go here in the first match at 103. There is Paul Garbus. Got to try to escape and get on the board, or at least stop his opponent from piling up some more points on him.
DeLira needs either a takedown, as now we see another stall call against Garbus.
That's 2.
Oh, that's a stall against DeLira, excuse me.
20 seconds to go here.
DeLira either needs a near fall or 2 takedowns, and it doesn't look like he's going to get either one.
10 seconds left here. 4, 3, 2, and that will do it. Final count 8-1 for Mount Carmel's Ryan DeLira, and that is a 3-point victory for his team. So Ryan DeLira gets his team on the board with a victory over Paul Garbus at 103. Meanwhile, the Class A 145-pound match, Willie Martin of Dakota with an overtime takedown defeats Yorkville's Ben Niles by a count of 6-4. Now back to Double A as we see Willie Martin's hand raised in victory. Over here, Milton Blakely right there coming at you from Mount Carmel. 3rd at 112 in the state finals this year. And he is going against Chris Rodriguez, a freshman from Waubonsee Valley. And again, you would think, as you said earlier, Rob, that the advantage must go to Mount Carmel here with the experienced Blakely, even though he's just a sophomore. He's a 3rd place finisher at state. Yeah, that is certainly a weight that Mount Carmel has to pick up big points again, because it's all uphill from here for Waubonsee Valley in terms of the matchups that they can expect to generate. Blakely 3rd at 112. And he's getting some advice as we have a momentary hold, as little attention going to Rodriguez. They haven't started the injury clock on him, so I don't know what the story is quite there. There's Bill Wick out there with his wrestler. Rodriguez has a bloody nose, and he's getting a little bit of patchwork on it there. That explains it. 4-0 for Blakely. His 4 points in the first period. Now they start from the neutral position as we begin the second.
Hey, over there down with wrestling. These 2, Todd and Kurt.
And you can see that Blakely has got points already. It's 6-0 on that takedown. And now he's getting back points. A minute 20, plenty of time to go here, and we get 3 more back points. No, 2 more back points. So 8-0 here for Blakely against Chris Rodriguez. Still a minute 20 to go in period number 2. Both wrestlers won their semifinal and quarterfinal matches. The allowed escape. It was 1 point to Rodriguez. He trails it now 8-1. And Blakely needs at least 1 more point for a major decision margin, if not more.
Although this is a match that Blakely should have the advantage in, certainly Tom Rossiano might have expected Rodriguez to stay a little bit closer than he has at this point. Really a very strong performance so far by Blakely with a 10-1 lead.
As a freshman, Blakely wrestled in this dual meet championship at 103 last year and recorded a pin against Waubonsie Valley in the first minute. Here he's got a 10-1 lead with 20 seconds left to go in period number 2. Now again looking to get Rodriguez over on his back, and he's getting more points here. Final 10 seconds. Tom Hennef, the official, counting him in 2-1. That's the end of the period. And Rodriguez avoids the pin, but 3 more back points. And it's 13-1 after 2 periods. And really, Rob, Rodriguez is going to have to go some to avoid a technical fall.
He's got 2 minutes left, but that's a long 2 minutes at this point. Particularly, he's going to have to start on the top. An escape and a takedown will just about do it for Blakely, and then that should be over.
Stall warning on a false start there. They will reset. Blakely not quite escaped. And off the mat they go. Blakely, very confident wrestler here.
Certainly a 3rd place finish in state will do that for you, and I've noticed that all along today. Wrestlers that did well last week have continued those performances into this dual meet competition.
Well, he does escape, so the lead is now 15-1. And again, 1 more takedown or reversal. 1 more takedown, and this will be over by technical fall. Again, as Rob described it, the 15-point wrestling version of the slaughter rule. More than a 15-point or more lead, and that's a technical fall. And 5 points for your team. 1 minute 17 to go. A minute 10.
Your winner, undefeated from Dakota,
And Blakely needs a bit of attention here. And they're calling out the medical teams. And Blakely being attended to. He is in command here. Meanwhile, Tom Rossiano is talking to Chris Rodriguez.
Try to keep it close. Get in there on a single. You can take them down and keep it even from here. Hey, it's just a major. Let's go. Come on. Let's do it, Chris. Let's go.
Now we're all set to go. 1 minute 3 in the 3rd period left. And again, Mount Carmel's Milton Blakely looking for either a technical fall or a fall. Now Rodriguez right off the mat. And there goes Blakely. 35 seconds to go.
He can finish that single, and it looks like he will.
He did. They just gave him the points, and that should do it. There it is. 30 seconds exactly left. And Milton Blakely has done it. A technical fall at 5:30 into the match. So there's your winner at 112 for Mount Carmel, Milton Blakely. We'll be back with more wrestling action in just a minute. Take a look at the situation in Class A after 2 matches. Dakota with a pin and a decision leads 9-0 here. West Falk of Dakota on top was trailing in this match when he gets the pin over Nate Todd, Rob.
Big lift for Dakota. These were 2 matches they just had to win, and they won them big.
So Dakota with 2 quick victories and 9 points out ahead of defending champion Yorkville. There you see West Falk, and now we come back in progress. Alan Rutherford of Yorkville, he is on top right there of Brian Moore of Dakota. We're at 160 pounds. And again, if you're wondering why we're at 103 to start on one mat and 145 on another, Rob, I know this is one of your favorite rules, so why don't you explain it and give your views on it?
Well, what the rule is that a draw is made before each round to determine which match you're going to start at. As you see that Alan Rutherford of Yorkville has taken the early 2-0 lead. And unfortunately, we do have one final match starting at one weight, one final match starting at a completely different weight. I do understand the rationale behind the rule.
Wait a minute, if you understand it, explain it to me. What is the rationale?
The rationale is to give each wrestler in the lineup an equal chance of being able to finish off the meet for his team and not to put the burden of that on the heavyweight every time. Unfortunately, our ability to communicate this rule and to avoid confusing people has not caught up with our ability to put the rule into effect. And I think some changes or modifications to the rule are going to be looked at after this year.
For Yorkville, Rutherford, a senior, 19-17 on the year, has the early lead with 40 seconds left to go in period number 1. Brian Moore, also a sophomore, lost in the semifinals to Carl Zindars of Muhammad Seymour. Zindars, a state runner-up. And there you see Rutherford trying to turn Moore on his back. Almost made it, but Moore comes back. And the score is 3-0 with 12 seconds left to go here in period number 1. Now we get a stall warning here.
Stall warning against Rutherford on top. And once again, this is a match that certainly Yorkville would expect to win. And Dakota, on the other hand, trying to keep the match as close as they can.
And that's the end of period number 1 with Rutherford there leading 3-0. The officials here, Dan Fulcher, Bill Marquardt. And there's a good look at the Dakota wrestler, Brian Moore, the sophomore. On we go to period number 2. Yorkville and Dakota. Yorkville defending champion last year, defeating Clinton. And Dakota, second trip downstate, finished 4th back in 1989. And check it, the scoreboard's missing a light. We're in period number 3.
There's a 2-point reversal for Rutherford, and now he's going to look to add to that lead. He's up by 5. He'd certainly like to get the major, and he needs 3 more points to do it. He's running that arm bar, and he's going to get some more points, it looks like. No, he did not get the 5 count that he'd need for a 3-point near fall. He may get it now, though.
1:10 to go. Moore trying to hold off here.
Now he does have that 5 count. It's a major decision as we stand right now.
Under 50 seconds to go here in this match. And Rutherford again trying to put the pressure on. Brian Moore trying to hold on. Well, they still hold that score at 5. They haven't awarded the points yet.
Same
Sure they will.
Same pinning combination. That's why they haven't awarded the points yet.
Under 20 seconds to go. And now Rutherford trying to put the finishing touch, trying for the pin with 10 seconds left. Moore has held off so far, trying to push those shoulders down. He will not do it. Still, though, it should be a major decision. It is 8-0 the final right here, and Alan Rutherford puts Yorkville on the board. An 8-0 major decision at 160. Now let's go over to AA at 119 with the state champion Javier Quintanilla right there on top for Waubonsee Valley. Bill Kaczynski, a junior for Mount Carmel. We are through 2 periods right here, and it is 8-0 for Javier Quintanilla over Kaczynski.
And another 2 points for another near fall gives Quintanilla a 10-0 lead.
Well, of course, we saw Quintanilla last week winning at 119. That was in Champaign. Here he is trying to give his team its first state championship with the takedown. 2 more points.
And it seems a little strange to me, as now it's a 12-0 lead, that Mount Carmel could not have gotten either Jason Pirro or Tony Davis down to 119 to give Quintanilla some resistance here, but it's going to be a technical fall very, very soon.
14-0 right now with 1:30 to go. And we get a stall call here. $14-0, and
now a stall call against Quintanilla on the top. All he has to do is let Kaczynski up and get a takedown, and this match is over.
Minute 5.
Looks like he wants to try for the pin.
And we get a potentially dangerous hold call right here on Quintanilla, so Kaczynski will get a couple of seconds breather. 53 ticks on the clock left in period 3. There's a good look at Kaczynski, a junior. We're at 119 pounds here.
This will be a huge lift for Waubonsee Valley to get points, and big points, from Javier Quintanilla. He did not score in the dual final last year. He did not score in the dual earlier in the year. It looks like he's going to get a technical fall right here, and he does.
There it is, the 2 points. 28 seconds left, and that is the technical fall for Javier Quintanilla at 5:32. 16-1, the final for the technical fall. Well, let's take a look right now at the AA team score here. This is supposed to be hotly contested, and it is. So far, Mount Carmel with the 8-5 lead, and this after 3 matches. Looking over at Class A now between Dakota and Yorkville. Yorkville has cut that lead after 3 Dakota 9-4. Let's join the Class A match in progress here at 171 pounds. Brian Woodley, the state champion at 171 for Dakota. He is being obscured right now by Brett Runkle, no slouch. He 22-5, finished 4th in the state at 160, and they are both going at 171 in the semis. Runkle won his match on a pin at 337. Woodley won both his semi and quarterfinal matches by pins, one at 115, the other at 119. So Brian Woodley has been making short work of his opponents here at the team championships.
But it was Runkle that got the first period takedown and the early 2-1 lead going into the second period. Now Runkle's going to be on the bottom. First really marquee matchup here with two state place winners.
Runkle from Yorkville, Woodley from Dakota. We told you both these teams are in the northern part of the state. They're, I guess, about equidistant from, if you put Rockford in the middle, they're about an hour outside each east or west. But they don't wrestle each other during the regular season, Rob.
No, they don't. They both of them wrestle primarily Class AA schedules, though, which is one reason they don't meet each other. Yorkville, of course, is in the Little 7, and they're one of only 2 Class A schools in a 9-team conference. So, and they only wrestled 4 Class A schools in dual meets during the season. So very, very tough schedule for Yorkville. Dakota wrestles a tough schedule too, but Yorkville definitely one of the toughest in the state for a Class A school.
2 more points for Runkle. He's got the 4-1 lead here in the second period. 1:10 to go.
And what a huge win this would be for Brett Runkle and Yorkville to beat the state champion a weight up, and a match that Dakota absolutely had to win to have a chance to at this team title.
Referee breaks them, brings them back to the center of the mat. 54 seconds to go in the second period. Again, if you've just joined us, Mike Liederman along with Rob Sherrill, the Illinois High School Association Dual Team Wrestling Championships. They are going on concurrently. Class A you're watching now between Dakota and Yorkville, and also the AA between Chicago Mount Carmel and Royal Waubonsee Valley. Mount Carmel looking for its 3rd consecutive team title. Yorkville, it's second over here, and right now Brett Runkle, with 30 seconds to go, in the midst of an upset over the defending state individual champion Brian Woodley of Dakota. Woodley on the left, Runkle on the right. And a whistle here. We'll come back to the middle. 21 seconds to go.
Woodley with a stand-up trying to break those hands, which is really the key to getting an escape. And now a stall call against Runkle on top.
With 10 seconds left in the second period. Runkle on top, leading 4-1 here. And another whistle, perhaps a false start, perhaps, yeah, looks like a stall warning of some sort. False start, Rob?
It'll be a caution for a false start against Brett Runkle.
Well, that's 2 real quick. Yorkville's coach, Bob Long, getting up. There he is, asking questions. Check it, that's Unruh of Dakota. Tom Unruh in his 7th year. 5 seconds left in the second period. And it's still a 4-1 lead after 4 minutes for Runkle of Yorkville. Now Runkle working around. And a potentially dangerous hold.
I think we're very close to another stalling call on Runkle right here. He's really just hanging on Woodley. I thought he was going to let him escape at the beginning of the period. And despite the optional start, he tries to ride him again.
A minute and a half left. And off the net they go. We get a whistle here. Unusual technique, Rob.
Well, I think Woodley has to be a lot quicker off the whistle in order to counter that. Really, that's the start you use if you're going to let somebody escape. And if Runkle uses this start again, watch Woodley on the bottom. He's got to get out of there a little bit faster. But he doesn't. He lets Runkle stop that first move.
1 minute left here. And again we get a stalling call, and this time it's going to cost a point. As Runkle is whistled again, and now it's a 4-2 lead for him.
Good call on that stalling. Really doing nothing except just hanging. And now Runkle's going to get down and use the conventional start. But Woodley hasn't been able to break the hand control, which is really the key to getting out and escaping.
50 seconds to go. There's Runkle again.
That's certainly what Tom Unruh wants, is another stalling call.
Runkle out to the early lead, and he is held on. And now he does let Woodley escape, although he must admit Woodley wasn't any quicker there. So now it's a 1-point match with 35 seconds to go. Strategy here, Rob.
Didn't want to risk another stalling call. But now Woodley can win this match with a takedown.
20 seconds to go. Runkle in the red top, Woodley in the white top. Runkle from Yorkville clinging to that 1-point lead. 12 seconds left here in the third period. And again a stalling call. And again 1 point. So now we're tied. Not the way you want to finish a match.
Well, certainly the avoiding action will get you warned and penalized for stalling, and that's what happened, and I think we're going to go to overtime.
And that's it. That's the end of regulation. Tied at 4, so we will go to the sudden death 2-minute overtime. Maybe, you know, again, the tactics used by Brett Runkle as he wrestled well for the first period and a half, but then after that, it seemed to want to back his way in, and it has cost him.
Well, you try to do what the official is going to call, and for a while stalling was not called. Finally it was, and he didn't adjust. Now he's getting on a single leg. Woodley has to counter this.
Again, any point at any time during this 2 minutes and the match is over.
That was a very good counter by Woodley to take Runkle out of bounds without being taken down and without being penalized for fleeing the mat, and almost scored on the single here, trying to switch off to the double.
And back they come. A minute 28 to go in the overtime.
That might have been a takedown, except Woodley stepped out of bounds as he was lifting Runkle off the mat, and that cannot be a takedown. If both his feet had stayed in bounds the entire time, that could have been 2 points. Another throw by tried there by Woodley.
Woodley again, state champion at 171. Runkle gets him. Runkle gets him. And Brett Runkle almost let it get away. Comes back and in overtime wins over the defending state champion Brian Woodley by a count of 6-4. There's your winner at Class A 171. More action coming up. Well, Yorkville, which fell behind 9-0 after the first 2 matches, has come back to score 7 points, taking the last 2. So, right now, the Indians lead the Foxes, but by only 2 points after 4 of the 13 matches complete. Meanwhile, over at Class AA, Mount Carmel has opened up a lead after 4 matches over Waubonsee Valley 12-5. The last winning a decision at 125, Jason Pirro over Tony Tomei. Now let's take you to the AA 130-pound match. Gerardo Quintanilla in green, and this should be another good one, Rob. Second in the state at 130 against Tony Davis up top there, the champion at 125. So here they are going for school and team. And right now, Tony Davis with a 2-0 lead as we are 35 seconds left in the first period.
And we're about to see whether when Mount Carmel gives, maybe Mount Carmel takes away. They allowed Javier Quintanilla to win the 119-pound match, but they may have a turnaround here with Gerardo Quintanilla, who got a pin in that December duel. They may prevent him from scoring points at all, which would be a big turnaround.
Well, how much is it for Tony Davis to step up from 125 to 130? What would it mean to him?
Well, obviously, it hasn't meant any kind of disadvantage to him so far. There's a certain caliber of wrestler that can win not only at his weight, but 1-2 weights up. And his combination of strength and athletic ability will carry him. Maybe not to a pin, but to a win. And that's really all that you want out of Tony Davis in this match, to knock out a big point scorer like Gerardo Quintanilla.
Davis, perfect this season, 28-0 as we end the first period. Tony Davis with a 2-0 lead over Gerardo Quintanilla, the senior brother of Javier, older brother. Gerardo, as we mentioned, no slouch either. Second in the state at 130 and 42-3 for the season. Now we get stall warning as they start from the neutral position.
False start against Gerardo Quintanilla. And again, we see the matchups at work here. Mount Carmel clearly winning this matchup so far. They let Waubonsee Valley have the 119-pound matchup, but they may come back and take this one away from them.
Both are seniors. Now we get the takedown here. Davis goes up 4-0.
Inside trip takedown for Davis, and obviously more points in a decision would just be a bonus here. All Mount Carmel really wants to do is win this match, because a win, of course, would keep Gerardo Quintanilla from scoring any points for Waubonsee Valley, and that's certainly a big part of their game plan.
Now we got a stall call here. Looks like against Gerardo, Rob?
Against Quintanilla.
50 seconds left in the second period, and Quintanilla trying to roll out. Davis holding on. 4-0 the count for the man on top.
Davis with that spiral ride.
.30 seconds to go. And Quintanilla in trouble.
He's got that half in deep.
Davis Getting back points here. 5 seconds to go. Second period. And that's the end of period number 2. And 3 more points for Tony Davis. So, again, Bill Wick is really looking like a genius here. He might not just get points, he might get major decision or better.
Well, certainly you're going to get that out of Tony Davis wherever he goes. The question is, can you engineer the kind of matchup that's not only going to get you points, but is going to be the most damaging to the other team? And it certainly appears that that's what's happened here.
The permitted escape takes the score to 8-0. Now Quintanilla trying to get something going here in the final 2 minutes.
Quintanilla is kind of a very established thrower.
And Davis is injured. Davis is down. He's, I'm sorry, Rob, looks like he's got some problem with his left ankle.
I don't know whether he turned it or what. It certainly wasn't involved in the action.
They've started the injury clock on Tony Davis, and there's Bill Wick coming over to give a little massage. We'll take a look and see if we can pick up what happened, Rob. Right, left, no, he's still on. I think he rolled the ankle.
Perhaps when he came down a little bit flat-footed on that left ankle. Maybe just a little bit of a hyperextension there.
Back on time, 1:39. You can see Tony Davis with that 8-0 lead for Mount Carmel. In a matchup between 2 state finalists right here, and again 2 more points. Slick move by Davis. Letting Quintanilla go, 10-1, looking for more points, and almost into the bench and our Sports Channel cameras.
This is not just anybody that Tony Davis is throwing around. This is a state finalist, and Waubonsee Valley is just going to have to throw this match away and come back fresh for 135, because this match is getting to be a little bit embarrassing.
10-1 with 1 minute to go in favor of Mount Carmel. Davis again, 2 more. .39 seconds, and this has been all Tony Davis. There he is. .30 seconds to go. Davis might even be in position for a technical fall here, but whistle at 20 seconds. Time continues to run. Davis looking at the clock and will probably just ride this one out.
Looking for more back points.
No. 3 more. If he gets some more back points, we'd have a technical fall, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. 2.6 left. Nonetheless, a significant victory here, and use of strategy for Mount Carmel. And that will do it. 12-1, a major decision for Tony Davis over Gerardo Quintanilla. So again, Mount Carmel mounts up the points in a big way. Let's take a look and see what's going on the A side over on the mat between 189-pounders Mike Smith of Dakota And Dan Ralston of Yorkville. Smith right now with a 7-0 lead with 1 minute to go in this match. We've got apparently an injury timeout for Ralston.
Ralston has a bloody nose that they're working on a little bit over there.
There's Bob Long, the coach. You can see him on the left, just out of your picture. There he is. Bob Long in his 6th season as coach of the Foxes. Took them downstate for the first time last year, and they won it all. Let's take a look at some of the action while we wait for the live action to resume. And again, that is Smith on the bottom.
Okay, now watch Smith. He'll just hip right into Dan Ralston here. When he breaks the hands, he'll have the reversal, and he maintains that chest-to-chest position, slips the half in, and he's going to get near fall points.
7-0 he leads. 1 minute to go in the match. Now we're all set. And we get a point here against Mike Smith. I guess I didn't happen to catch that, Rob, did you?
No, I did not see it.
And then the permitted escape, 7-2. So 53 seconds to go. Ralston, 22-5, a junior. Won his semifinal, a 5-4 decision. Was pinned himself in the quarterfinals. Mike Smith also 500 so far. Pinned his man in the quarters, lost in the semis. Now Smith, 25 seconds away. No points awarded.
Stepped out of bounds.
10 seconds. And again off the mat, out of bounds. 7 seconds left.
Well, with the loss by Woodley, the state champion at 171, Dakota needs to start making up points elsewhere, and they've done a good job here. This is a little bit of an upset, and a 9-2 final.
All right, well, there it is, 9-2 once again. Dakota, which had lost the last couple of matches, comes back on a big win by Mike Smith and taking it by a count of 9-2. Now let's update the other action. In Class A right now, Dakota 12-7 after Yorkville had scored 7 straight points. Dakota with the 3. And let's take a look at the AA match right here. For Waubonsee Valley, George Garbus. And for Mount Carmel, that's Ryan Casey, as we are at 135.
Ryan Casey actually tried to make weight at 125 today and missed by 0.4 of a pound. So he was able to qualify for 130, which means, of course, he can wrestle 135, and that's where he is in this match. Casey, very conservative wrestler, doesn't score a lot of points, but he's also very hard to score on.
Both wrestlers lost their only appearances here earlier. Casey lost a 7-6 decision in the quarters, and Garbus lost 11-6 at 140. That in the semis.
This is a big swing match for Waubonsee Valley. Garbus really needs to pick up a win here to shift the momentum back in their favor. You know, you win individual tournament titles with guys like the Kent Nia brothers and Ruben Saldana and Jim Leduc, who we'll see later. But you win dual state titles with guys like George Garbus, and maybe he'll prove that to us if he wins this match. 45
seconds to go here in period number 2. Garbus holding on to a 1-0 lead here against Ryan Casey. .30 seconds to go here in the second period. Again, these are the 135-pounders at Class AA. Mount Carmel with the team lead in brown. Waubonsee Valley in the green and gold. There's a good look at Garbus here. Final 10 seconds. Go to the final 2 minutes with George Garbus leading by the slimmest of margins, 1-0. And Garbus lets his man go, so we're tied at 1. Again, looking for the opportunity to trade 2 points for 1. .30 seconds gone in the final period, tied at 1.
This would be a big turnaround for Mount Carmel from the dual match in December if Casey could win this. He was pinned in overtime by Gerardo Quintanilla in the December duel, and certainly points from Casey would be a huge plus for Mount Carmel. Maybe insurmountable. We'll just have to wait and see.
Minute 9 left in regulation, we might add now. Score tied at 1. Again, the way the team title is working, we get a stall warning here, and it's not a warning, it's a deduction or a point for Mount Carmel for Ryan Casey. Ryan Casey for Mount Carmel, George Garbus, and a stall, and this time it goes the other way. It goes against Garbus, so 33 seconds to go. We're tied at 2.
I think Tom Hennef would just as soon these 2 guys settle in overtime.
15 seconds to go.
And now Garbus in deep on that single leg.
He's got 7 seconds to do something.
Can't finish it.
Casey saw the clock, and that will do it. Tom Rossiano looking on, exhorting George Garbus to take the situation in overtime. There is Bill Wick.
Could be a classic case of deja vu from the December duels. Casey lost in overtime then. Will he win in overtime this time? Garbus got to be careful about backing out of the circle. Now he's circled in.
Minute 25 to go in overtime.
Now Casey with the front headlock, but doesn't try to finish the move.
And back will come. A minute 13. Garbus. They're having a lag problem there. Seems all right.
A little bit of a headbutt as he pushed Casey off the edge. Needed a minute to collect himself.
Look out. Casey tried to move there. He couldn't finish, and there he does. Ryan Casey. Well, forget December. This is the state team championships, and Ryan Casey in overtime gets the takedown and wins it by a count of 4-2 for Mount Carmel. The Caravan cheers. We'll take a break. This program has been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of this event without written consent of the IHSA and Sports Channel is prohibited. Now let's take you to the heavyweights in the Class A. Ryan Kovarik from Yorkville, he's in the red, and Shane Riggle from Dakota sends him to the mat.
Riggle with the single switched off to a double and took him down.
And there is your winner here, Shane Riggle, a junior. Limited experience, 9-8 on the season, had lost both his semi and quarterfinal matches here at state. But a big win over here for Dakota to keep the Indians out ahead at 275. Let's switch over now to the Class AA. We see Pat Sheehan at 140 pounds from Mount Carmel up top, just getting 2 points on the reversal. Sheehan from Mount Carmel is a junior, and Greg Sakowitz from Wabansie Valley. And here a bit of a surprise, I would think, for Tom Rossiano putting Sakowitz in here, who's only really wrestled 3 matches the whole season.
This has been another weakness for Mount Carmel, as you see the technical fall.
With a minute 31 to go in period number 2, Sakowitz, who was technical fault in the semis, gets it again in the finals from Pat Sheehan. So 5 more points for Mount Carmel as they look for their 3rd straight title. Now we go to the 103 pounds as we've cycled out. Go to the 103 pounders in Class A with Matt Long of Yorkville. He is in the red against Dave Niedermeyer, a freshman from Dakota. There's Niedermeyer having a headgear problem right there. And Long with the early 2-0 lead, a minute 20 left in period number 1. Long, sophomore, qualified for states this year, 34-7 on the season. Pinned his quarterfinal opponent, 1-0 in the semifinals.
And again, in including this weight, the next 3 weights and probably the next 4, Yorkville has a big advantage. It's going to be interesting to see how many points they're going to be able to pick up here at 112, 119, and 125, because the advantage switches to Dakota after that.
Clock now 44 seconds and counting. And still the 2-0 lead for the man on top there, Matt Long. "15 seconds to go. First period. Five seconds. And not much happening here, and that will do it for the first period. Niedermeyer, a lot of experience as a freshman, wrestling his 35th match of the season.
I think Yorkville coach Tom Unruh would feel a little bit better now if he had won that 171-pound match with his state champion, but he still has some opportunities to make that up once the 119-pound weight class is finished. And of course, Dakota will be able to finish up with a state runner-up, Andy Heilmeyer, at 140, and if there's a chance for him to win the match, he's got an excellent shot at it.
30 seconds gone here in the second period. Long still on top and on top in the match. Again 2-0, but a stall warning here against Long. Now Matt Long trying to work Niedermeyer on his back, but Niedermeyer quickly turns over. And we have 1 minute to go in period number 2. Niedermeyer, a freshman, Long, a sophomore.
Long looking for the near fall here with the near arm, and he's got the half in, and he'll get near fall points here.
Lead goes up to 4-0. Final 10 seconds here. Meanwhile, as they count down period number 2, let's go over to the AA matchup at 1:45. We've got a defending state champion here and a 4th place finisher. That is TJ Williams on top from Mount Carmel, leading 7-2 over junior Ruben Saldana from Monte Valley.
Now he's got the cradle in. Generally not a pinner, TJ Williams, but he can do it anytime he wants to.
30 seconds gone in the second period.
And what a statement this would send to Waubonsee Valley to have another one of their state champions or state place winners giving up 6 points.
And once again, Saldana just rolling out of it at the last minute, it seemed. 3 points given to TJ. And he leads this 10-2. Still just about a minute left to go in the second period. There's TJ Williams making a name for himself as a sophomore. He's got 2 state championships in 2 years. And of course, wherever he goes, people remind TJ about the fact that his brother Joe had 4 in 4 years. One of the finest wrestling products ever produced by the state of Illinois. Joe graduating last year. TJ's doing all right by himself. Thank you very much.
Just following down that path without much trouble, if tonight's match is any indication.
50 seconds to go in the second period. These, the 145 pounders at Class AA. Saldana, 4th at 152 in the States this year. And certainly has experience against the Mount Carmel guys. Usually it's what, Ron Stonich who he goes against. Has a win and a loss and 2 decisions. Williams has scored technical falls in the semi and quarterfinal. Saldana has won 2 decisions, won a major in his appearances here at Redbird Arena.
You're
11-2 in favor of that man, TJ Williams. Well, this whole AA meet was supposed to be a close one, Rob, but so far it's been all Mount Carmel.
And I have to admit, I'm a little shocked. I was wrong last year, too. I thought last year would be a blowout and it went all the way down to heavyweight. I thought this one would be much closer, and Mount Carmel is really sending a statement. Waubonsee Valley is in danger of really losing and losing big.
After 2 periods, 11-3 in favor of TJ. Now more points on the reversal. 13-3 with 4 seconds only gone in the third period.
Caution for a false start there.
A minute 54 and ticking. TJ looking for technical fall points here if he can get them. 13-4 right now. He's got a major decision. He's got that left leg of Saldana. Down he goes again. 2 more on the takedown. 15-4. A minute 30 to go. Trying to roll him over, and he's off the mat. Back they'll come. And as you say, Rob, he's not just throwing anybody around the ring.
This is just an old-fashioned butt kicking, and I'm sure Waubonsee Valley has not experienced the likes of this in quite some time.
The allowed escape. There's Bill Wick. Coach of Mount Carmel. Another takedown. Minute 10 to go. Again, the allowed escape. 17-6. TJ Williams gets him. Not quite. Not quite on the reversal or on the takedown. Exactly 1 minute left to go here in this match. And I think TJ got a little headbutt right there.
You need entry time?
So they're going to run some injury time on TJ here. Let's take a look over at Class A, meanwhile, where Ryan Metcalf, 3-time state champion, 1-time and 2-time third place finisher right there in the red. Metcalf from Yorkville at 112, working on Heath Folk. And right now, well out ahead, 11-3 with a minute 15 to go in the second period. Metcalf, third at 112 this past week in the state finals. Third at 103 a year ago, and he won at 103 as a sophomore. Here he's comfortably ahead, 11-3.
Certainly working on a technical fall or a pin, and as expected, Yorkville has picked up big points in these bottom weights of the lineup. Matt Long just had a pin, and Ryan Metcalf looking to at least get a technical fall here.
2 more points, 13-4. It's Metcalf having his way here with Folk. He is a freshman. Metcalf is a senior. Meanwhile, on the other mat, TJ Williams has finished off Ruben Saldana to the tune of 19-8. More points for Mount Carmel. We've got back points here coming up. With 25 seconds to go in period number 2, and Ryan Metcalf looking for a pin. (14-4). 3 more back points, 17-4. Final 10 seconds here of the second period. (17-4) with Ryan Metcalf handily dealing with Folk.
17-4 with still a period left to go. Certainly technical foul territory for Ryan Metcalf here. He'd like to get at least that as he stands up and tries to get the escape.
And he does.
A takedown will do it.
A minute 40. And they'll set him up again. There's Metcalf. Does he have a determined look on his face? Or what?
He'd like to get that last takedown and finish out the technical fall, which would be 5 points for Yorkville, and it would give them the lead.
Right now, they trail 15-13.
And there it is.
Team score, but now that is changing with the technical fall for Ryan Metcalf at 4:33. 4:33. Rob Sherrill, you amaze me the way you can subtract and add backwards. And there's Ryan Metcalf. He is exhorting his fans as Yorkville has taken the lead. There's Coach Bob Long. Let's take a look now and update the standings, update the totals. Well, Mount Carmel running away from Waubonsee Valley 28-5 after 8 matches here as Bill Wick looks for his 3rd straight championship. Class A, though, a much different story. It's back and forth. Dakota took the early lead. Yorkville now has gone ahead on the technical fall from Ryan Metcalf, and it has set off a celebration among the Foxes. Is it too soon? Stick with us. We'll find out. Another state champions in action. You see him there in the Waubonsee Valley Gold. Jim LeDuc, a winner at state at 160, wrestling 152 here against Pete Rusich of Mount Carmel. Rusich, limited action for the Caravan. 5-2 on the season for the senior.
And where it stands now is essentially Mount Carmel needs one more win to clinch their 3rd straight dual team title. They won't get it here most likely. LeDuc is ahead 6-2 after a period. It's difficult, of course, to beat a state champion. But of course, Waubonsee Valley, of course, must win every match from now on to keep their chances alive.
Five matches to go, including this. And there's Coach Bill Wick.
Work for it, work for it.
His counterpart, Tom Marciano. Minute 42 left in the second period. You see LeDuc piling up the points. I guess they want the trainer to have a look at Rusich, and I guess it's a bloody nose. LeDuc, perfect on the year, 49-0. We told you he won state at 160. Here he drops down to 152. And there he is. Now let's see if we can pick up what sent Rusich to the sideline here as LeDuc is on top. And oh boy, Nose first on the mat. He'll do it every time, Rob.
Wrestling can be a little hard on the face.
Let me write that down. Rossiano really needs the big points out of Leduc right here. 1:28 to go, and they're still not happy with the condition of Rusick. So we are in a bit of a hold right here. Well, so far, Rossiano doesn't look like a guy who's had the sky fall in on him tonight. If you're wondering who was ahead, you'd have to wonder between the two coaches' expressions. In fact, Bill, it's not so bad. You're going to win. Barring any kind of major catastrophe for you in the last 5 matches. Started out at 103. Ryan DeLira with an easy 8-1 decision there for Mount Carmel. Milton Blakely comes in with a technical fall at 112. At 119, Javier Quintanilla, the state champion at that weight, got a technical fall for Wabansi Valley. Jason Pirro, a winner for Mount Carmel at 125. Tony Davis for the Caravan at 130. Ryan Casey at 135. And Pat Sheehan at 140. TJ Williams at 145. And now here at 152, Jim Leduc is trying to get Wabansi Valley back in the scoring column.
It certainly can't do much for your confidence as a team to see the beatings that a couple of your state place winners have taken, with Gerardo Quintanilla and Ruben Saldana both losing by 11-point major decisions. That's tough for any team to take, and it's tough to come back from, as Wabansi Valley's finding out now.
Stall against Rusick there. Under a minute to go. It's 9-3 in favor of Leduc. And 2 more points for Leduc.
You got 39 seconds. Can you take it down?
39 seconds here in period 2. Mike Liederman along with Rob Sherrill, Rick Godwin in the truck, along with our trio crew. And able help here from Mike Manahan of Olympia High School. We appreciate that. And I hope you're enjoying this. Another 2 points for Leduc. It's 13-4 now as we add those last 2 on. There we go. Still 19 seconds to go in period number 2. And again, technical fall position looms here for Wabansi Valley's Warriors.
And Wabansi Valley needs at least that from Jim Leduc right now. They need to send a message to Mount Carmel that, hey, we're not out of this yet.
Final 10 seconds here in period 2. Leduc trying to add some points before the buzzer. He will not do it. And we'll go to the 3rd period. Leduc, 2 more. 15-4, 11-point margin. Rusick preventing further damage for the time being. Boy, love to come out of this with nothing but a 4 points against instead of 5. Now Leduc showing that he's going to allow the escape.
He's going to go for the technical fall. Try to get a
15-5. 2 more points.
Now a
17
takedown to the back.
And the dangerous hold call. And Rusick is in some kind of pain here. Got a shot right on the left buttock, it looks like.
That's where he landed, rather hard.
Injury time starts to run. Well, again, Mount Carmel just hoping to stave off the technical fall of the pin here. So far, Rusick has done it. Still a minute and change left in this match. There is a good close-up with Jim LeDuc, state champion. Getting some instructions. And we're set to go. 1 minute, 8 seconds left in the third period. LeDuc with a 12-point lead. Again allows the escape.
LeDuc still needs 3 takedowns to get the technical fall, unless he can pick up some near fall points somewhere along the way. There's a takedown.
We'll be back with more wrestling action from Redbird Arena right after we take a short break. Jeremy Legg for Yorkville and Ben Sutman for Dakota as Rusick goes off there. And there is Legg on top right there. The senior against Sutman, the freshman.
Another of the weights where Yorkville with the big advantage and needs to score the big points to get themselves far enough ahead, because Dakota puts themselves right back into the match at 125 quite possibly.
Yorkville now with an 18-15 team lead in points. Dakota started out 9-0. Yorkville has come back. And we have 50 seconds to go in period 2.
And a stall warning against Sutman on the bottom. The official, Dan Fulsher, knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to prevent more points from being scored. But he's got to get out to do it, not just lie with his head down on the mat. And now a stall warning against Legg on top.
31 seconds to go in the second period. Legg 26-10 for the season. Sutman 25-14 as a freshman. Meanwhile, back on the double A mat, they're still in a hold. Legg leading this 4-0.
Who's that?
Ten seconds to go here in the second period. Sutman trying to get to his feet. Legg takes him back down, and we're through 4 minutes. And Jeremy Legg with a 4-0 lead. Let's show you how he put some of those points on the board.
Right here you'll see Legg with the cross-face cradle. He's got that head in the side, and then he just steps over with it, and this will be points. The match will be stopped in a few minutes here for the bloody nose.
Back to ongoing action now. 1:40 to go. Legg's headgear is gone, but his lead is intact at 4-0. Trying to add to Yorkville's team lead. Back in normal, this is the 160-pound class AA match. Ron Stonich, second in the state at 152. For Mount Carmel, there he is, getting into the bottom position. David Brown, a senior, limited experience, 4-1 on the year for Waubonsee Valley. Again, strategy here for Rossiano.
Well, Dave Brown's been a very solid performer for Waubonsee Valley all year, and certainly this situation where you think you can pile up the wins. I'm sure he certainly expected to have more wins than 2 by now, but Brown's certainly a guy that could pick one up.
Final seconds here in the first period, and David Brown comes away with a 3-2 lead as we finish up 2 minutes. And when we say Stonich, we have to specify which. That is Ron. Of course, there's Ryan. And right now there's Tate. Well, coach has got to be able to do it all, so Bill's got the tape out. Meanwhile, Brown talking to his coach. And we get set to resume action. See that right elbow there of Ron Stonich taped up. And the point given to Stonich. We're tied at 3, and back we go. Brown going for the legs. 30 seconds gone here in the second period. And Stonich gets the takedown, lets him up. 5-3 as Stonich starting to assert himself here.
Nice snap and spin there by Stonich. I think he's going to try and do that the rest of this match. He tried one there, and now a step over on Brown. Well, it's not points yet. Now it is.
A minute to go in the second period. Over he goes. 2 more points for Stonich. Up to a 9-4 lead. But there, now as he tries to turn Brown, the officials watching very closely to make sure the hold is all right.
Stonich still trying for that chicken wing on the right side. Now Brown sits out for the escape.
And back. Another takedown for Stonich. 11-5. Final 10 seconds here in the second period.
And again, Mount Carmel only needs 1 win to close out a 3rd straight dual team title. And Ron Stonich is just 1 period away from picking that up.
All right, after 2 periods, Ron Stonich with a commanding 11-5 lead over that man, Dave Brown. Let's take a look at the double-A team score right now. And as Rob pointed out, even after that technical fall by Waubonsee Valley's Jim LeDuc, Mount Carmel has a commanding lead and needs only a win here to ensure its 3rd straight title for that man, Bill Wick. The officials huddling up for a bit. Rossiano wants to talk to Tom Henniff over there by the table, and he is explaining something or making some points there. Any idea what he's talking about? Obviously,
Here's some
Henniff
points
doesn't
have been
agree.
taken off the clock. And that's probably what they're talking about.
Well, they're also checking the tape on Stonewich's right elbow. And now they're sending Stonewich back. That may have been what Rossiano was complaining about. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for this to transpire, let's go over to the 125-pound Class A competition. Matt Reeder from Dakota. He is a sophomore. Dave Vick, there he is, standing up. A junior from Yorkville with a 6-0 lead as we begin the third period. Vick, a junior, Reeder, a sophomore. Yorkville has gone out to a 7-point lead over Dakota, but things are far from settled here.
3 weight classes left after this one is over, and certainly Yorkville has done what we expected. They have, in these last 4 weights, gone from a 15-7 deficit to a 22-15 advantage. At this point, Dave Vick only stands to pick up a regular decision. We'll see if that's enough. And there's a reversal by Matt Reeder, and he's on the scoreboard.
6-2 with 1:05 left in this match regulation time. And Vick trying to escape here, reverse here.
Vick tried to stand up. He was able to break the hand control of Reeder, and he got the escape. Now he's trying for a headlock. If Reeder can get his head out, and he's done that, he still maintains control. The escape was not awarded there.
35 seconds to go in this match. Dave Vick from Yorkville, he is on the bottom right now, but on top in the match by 4 points. And a stall warning called against Dave Vick.
The decision here by Dave Vick would increase Yorkville's lead to 10, and that means that Dakota would have to win the final 3 matches in order to come back. One more win and Yorkville could close it out.
5 seconds to go here in this 125-pound match. And that's it. That's it. Dave Vick, a winner by a 6-2 count, gets 3 points. And let's go back over to AA, where we have, if you remember, Dave Brown and Ron Stonich, they're back at it, and Stonich now had Brown on his back for a second, gets 2 points now with a 17-6 lead, 1:08 to go here in the third period. Stonich again with a victory here, which it seems he's going to get, will lock up the 3rd straight title for Mount Carmel. Now he allows the escape, and he goes again for a takedown. No points yet. Now he's got 2. There are the numbers right there. That's Ron Stonich in command with less than 30 seconds left here.
And I don't know if anybody in this gym would have thought that Mount Carmel would have this state title put away with 3 matches still left to be wrestled, but that's the way it appears it's going to be now.
Final 10 seconds, 19-7, a 12-point lead for Mount Carmel. And the Caravan faithful understand what this all means. And even at last second reversal there, 19-9 the final for Stonehenge. And a title again for the Mount Carmel Caravan. You can see Bill Wick very, very calm. We'll be back with more. Let's take a look at the Class A update right now. Dakota and Yorkville with the Foxes coming from behind. They have a 10-point lead with but 3 matches to go. Over at the AA side, it's been all Mount Carmel with the Caravan locking up its 3rd straight state team title with a victory at 160 by Ron Stonich. Now we're over at 171 with Mount Carmel's Mike Bertoni, a junior, against Chris Evans of Waubonsee Valley. With 1:05 to go in the first period, we are scoreless. And now, as we say that, 2 points given to Evans. Evans, a senior, lost in the semis, won a major decision in the quarters. And Bertoni wrestled in the quarters, and he pinned his man at 1:30.
Evans, of course, got a big win for Waubonsee Valley last year in the duel that helped take the outcome all the way to the heavyweight match. He may get a win here, but unfortunately it's not going to make any difference in the team score for Waubonsee Valley.
Evans a 4-3 winner back then. He leads 2-0 now. Waubonsee Valley defeated Waukegan in the semifinals after a quarterfinal win over Proviso East. Mount Carmel undefeated, 22-0, went through Providence Catholic in the semis. Prior to that, a 30-point 45-15 win over DeKalb. And these are, for the 2nd year in a row, your 2 state finalists. And the way things are going, Waubonsee Valley is going to become the Buffalo Bills of IHSA wrestling. They get there all the way to the finals. And that's the end of period number 1 over there with the score 2-0 in favor of Waubonsee Valley's Chris Evans. And now as we look at Tom Rossiano, knowing he's coming in second, let's switch over to the Class A activity. Greg Stubbe of Dakota on the bottom. Darrell Brown from Yorkville. And again, Yorkville with the 10-point lead in the team score. And Brown 2-1 leading in this match with 45 seconds left to go in period number 2. And here again, Rob, Yorkville with a lead, but certainly not assured of victory yet.
Not assured of victory yet, but the 10-point lead is critical. That means that one win in these final 3 matches by Yorkville will give them the title. Dakota must win all 3 of these matches to win the championship.
Final 20 seconds here in the 2nd period. Brown still holding on to that 2-1 lead. Meanwhile, the roar you're hearing is for Mike Bertoni, who just pinned Chris Evans at 2:20 in that match with 1 second to go. A point awarded to Greg Stubbe. So now we're tied going into the final period. There is Brown, 19-15 on the year, a senior. Stubbe, a sophomore, 32-7. Decisioned his opponents in both the quarterfinals and semifinals. Brown losing in the quarter, winning in the semi, but by the narrowest of margins, 1-0, as you look there at Bob Long.
Amazing what Yorkville has been able to do this year, reloading instead of rebuilding. Lost 8 starters to graduation off of last year's team, and here they are, not only in the tournament, not only in the finals, but probably going to win it again. They're one win away from doing it. Dakota again has to win all 3 of these matches to win their first title.
1:35 to go in regulation. Still tied at 2. Brown in red on the bottom. Stubbe on top. Off the mat. Back we come.
The big match, of course, and came all the way back at 171 pounds when Brett Runkle of Yorkville, the 4th place finisher at 160, who's been wrestling 171 this entire tournament, beat the 171-pound state champion Brian Woodley in overtime, and that's really the margin at this point.
1:15 here in regulation. We're still tied at 2, but now we get a point awarded for stalling against Stubbe. So Brown with the 3-2 lead and has 1:10 to hold on to it or build on it.
Both wrestlers have been penalized for stalling at this point.
Under a minute to go. Brown on the bottom with the 1-point lead. Stubbe, as the wrestlers go out of bounds. Bob Long giving instructions. Stubbe lets his man go free. Now he trails by 2, and he's got to do that takedown in 25 seconds or less.
A takedown would tie it and send it into overtime quite possibly. And Darryl Brown knows it. He's looking at the clock. He knows all he has to do is hold Greg Stubbe off for 15 seconds, and the state title belongs to Yorkville.
Under 10. Brown still with the lead, 3 seconds to go. Now or never for Dakota.
And a 2-point stalling call. At the buzzer, this is going to go to overtime.
Explain that, Rob, because it happened literally at the buzzer and tied the match at 4.
The penalty sequence for stalling is a warning the first time, then 1 point, then 1 point again, and for the third penalization, it's 2 points. The next one would be a disqualification.
Well, we're in overtime now, and literally at the buzzer, as you look at Darryl Brown. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what happened over there on the Class A mat, Class AA mat, as we told you a couple of minutes ago. They've got the title to the Caravan, but Mike Bertoni with a big pin coming up at 2:20 against Chris Evans of Waubonsee Valley. Let's take a look.
Right here, Bertoni's favorite pinning combination. It's a cradle, and there's the pin.
At 2 minutes and 20 seconds, Mike Bertoni, another winner for the Caravan. We'll be back with more after this. All right, we're back in the overtime of the 130-pound Class A match. Darryl Brown penalized for stalling with a second to go. Lost the 2 points to tie this match at 4. Now we are 1:49 left in overtime.
And that's just a huge call in this match because it keeps Dakota in it. If that call's not made, Yorkville wins a 4-2 decision and the state title. Now Dakota can still keep a shot at the title with a win.
Darryl Brown, of course, points here will give Yorkville the championship, their second straight. Tom Unruh, the Dakota Indians coach, talking to his wrestler now, and there you look at Darryl Brown, who's had some nosebleed problems. 1:41 here in the overtime. still looking over there at Bob Long as they attend to Darryl Brown. And we're back. Again, the first point scored here will win this match.
If Darryl Brown scores them, the state title belongs to Yorkville. And there he is on a single leg. No.
Out of bounds they go, and did they give a point? No.
No takedown because Brown's feet did not come down in. Yes, they did take.
Yes, they.
A point for fleeing the mat against Stubbe.
What a strange series of calls here at the very end of this match and in the overtime. So that's the way it's going to go into the record books. A 5-4 win for Darryl Brown in OT, and the additional 3 points makes the score 28-15, and there is a very happy Bob Long. He's been here before. He loves it because they now have their second straight state team title. So not only are they wrestlers, they're good math students there because they know where all the points go. Let's pick up action in AA here. We've got the heavyweights, I believe, although it says 189 on the board. We've got Mike Ficcaro from Mount Carmel. There he is. Jeff Winarski from Waubonsee Valley. Ficcaro is a senior. Winarski a sophomore. Had been hurt earlier. Didn't wrestle when these two teams met in December. Ficcaro, as best we've been able to determine, hasn't wrestled here at state yet. He's not today. And this again, the final match with the championship long decided in favor of the Caravan.
And I don't know who possibly could have predicted an outcome like this. Waubonsee Valley has won a grand total of 2 matches in this tournament, and Mount Carmel is working on the biggest blowout in dual team state tournament history, at least for a state final match.
44-10. Big numbers.
Both of Mount Carmel's previous 2 state title wins went all the way down to heavyweight. This one was decided long ago.
About the only good news for Waubonsee Valley is the technical fall by state champion Jim LeDuc at 160. And the other state champ, Javier Quintanilla, with a technical fall at 119. Other than that, it has been all Caravan. Caravan to ride.
Gary Yeagle, please report to the head table. Gary Yeagle, please report to the head table. Thank you.
Even Bill Wick finds time to crack a smile now, and I don't blame him.
Now a little extracurriculars at the buzzer here. Winarski saying, "Who me?" And Ficcaro.
With the bench help
There's
from
the
table 3,
winning coach.
please report to the head table. Bench help from mat 3, please report to the head table. Thank you.
So we have our 2 state champions here, Mount Carmel in AA, Yorkville in the A, finishing up their final matches here. Again, with the new rule, Yorkville and Dakota started at 140 pounds, so 145 pounds, so they've got a match to go. And the heavyweights here are tied at 2, a minute and a half left in period 2. escape point awarded for Carl. A minute 15 here. And we get a takedown for Winarski. .45 seconds to go here in period number 2. And Winarski, on the strength of that last takedown, is holding on to a 1-point lead. Now, an additional point given Winarski. Didn't see for what, Rob?
Stalling on the bottom by Ficarro. And certainly this is the matchup that Waubonsee Valley hoped to get at heavyweight, but it doesn't make any difference now. This match didn't go down to heavyweight.
Now once again they're calling a stall.
Another stalling call against Ficarro.
So it's now 6-3 as we end the second period. Let's switch over to the action in the 135-pounders of Class A, just to give them a little bit of face time for the folks. 9-2 the score in favor of Dakota here. That's Tim Roop now. Junior against Kurt Schoenfielder, also a junior.
Another reversal for Roop now, and he's in major decision territory. Again, the difference in this match has been Brett Runkle's big win at 171 over the defending state champion Brian Woodley, and if that match had gone the other way, then Dakota would be in a position to win a title by winning these last 2 matches. Not to be.
A minute 5 left to go here. And 2 points. It's now 13-2 in favor of Dakota's Roop now. And under a minute left here, and looks like it's going to be Roop now of Dakota now with Schoenfielder on his back. He's got to be careful.
Schoenfielder just worked a Granby there. Looked like he had a reversal and had Roop now in trouble for a while, but now Roop now is going to get a count.
Final 30 seconds here at 135 pounds. Final seconds here, 7, 6, 5, 16-2. Could be a tech fall, but no. At the buzzer, 16-3, the final for Roop now. Updating our final matches, first in the Class A, Andy Heilmeyer, the runner-up at 140 in the state meet, and at 135, a runner-up a year ago. He pinned his Yorkville opponent, Mike Schofield, and got 6 points for that. But again, for Dakota, not enough, because for the second year in a row, the Yorkville Foxes have outfoxed the opposition. And the score, again, not as close as it looked, with Dakota taking the last 2 matches, but Yorkville winning by a score of 28-25. Meanwhile, the heavyweights, again, a match that was meaningless as far as the final outcome. Mike Ficarro disqualified for Mount Carmel, giving the 6 points to Jeff Winarski of Aurora, Waubonsee Valley, but again, it did not prevent Mount Carmel from winning its 3rd straight Class AA championship. Now it's time for medals in Class A. The Yorkville Foxes all have their Class A Wrestling Dual Team Championship medallions, led by their coach, who in 6 years, Bob Long, has got 2 championships, Rob.
Well, they've shown what a dominant program they are in Class A. To lose 8 seniors off last year's team, come back and win the title again, that shows the kind of depth and the character and the tradition they have.
And from Mount Carmel, well, Bill Wick has been at this some 3 decades and more at various schools, the last 7 or 8 years, or since 1986 at Mount Carmel. And in the last 3 years, he's brought home a championship in every one.
I think Bill Wick is having a lot of fun with this team. I tell you, I would too if I brought home 3 straight state titles. No Class AA team has ever done that in the dual team. And the way they've dominated the state tournament the last 3 years, it's no surprise.
And there, all the wrestlers are getting their medals from their very popular coach. The next Illinois High School Association State Championship on Sports Channel comes your way tonight at 11. We bring you the 1994 Individual Wrestling Championships. Coverage of the 1994 IHSA Dual Team Wrestling State Championship has been produced and directed by Rick Godwin. Our graphics coordinator, Bart Fox. Facilities assistant, Sheila Brown. Executive producer for Sports Channel is John Toohey. Remote facilities provided by Trio Video of Chicago. For Rob Sherrill and our crew here in Normal, I'm Mike Liederman saying so long for now. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.